We're going to move on to our favorite segment, Recommends.
Yeah.
And I know Max is going to recommend Victoria's Secret 2, is it?
Yeah. Victoria 2.
And Victoria 2.
Now, this game it's a grand strategy game. This is the first grand strategy game I've ever played, and it is insanely difficult to get into. Oh my God. Like this has so many different layers. You know, all those like different tabs at the top is basically a game in itself.
Oh,
that
God.
you have to manage at the same time as managing your armies and your everything. It's I played a game in Serbia a few days ago, and you start out with all farmers and peasants, and you have to like make your country civilized European power. That is a real contender. Yeah, and that was super
Thrilling.
difficult.
Absolutely.
I love stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
Like government running games. Like there's a lot of bureaucracy, and you have to like appease different parties, and it doesn't sound really fun to some people, but they're like, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's
definitely a global empire building game.
Oh yeah. Starts in 1836 to the year 1936. And you just go through the entirety of the Victorian era. And it is really, really cool. Like I played a game when the 1861 rolls around, the Civil War happens, and the Confederate States of America are just like, okay, we'll just stay here then. And then the U.S. and the CSA just were two major powers in the world.
All right, it's happening now.
Yeah.
You didn't get involved, Max?
No.
You didn't go down there and kick some Confederate butt?
There was a point when I was playing as Russia, and I got involved with the U.S. Civil War, and I sent a bunch of troops to help the Confederates. Yeah, and basically the U.S. got split up the center.
What?
So it was like the Western
And then
U.S.
California and then the East Coast.
Yeah,
like,
again.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird. And the thing is, it's so cool because stuff like that can happen, and it'll just like happen.
Yeah.
Like there was another point when Germany became the northern part of the European continent, and then Bavaria became its own country, and it's huge down on the bottom part, and they kept having all these wars with each other. And like playing as Serbia, I tried recreating Yugoslavia. Didn't work at all. But it's just really cool stuff like that. And you can play as any country in the world. Like you want to play as Delhi, the nation state of Delhi in India, go for it. If you want to go up against the British. If you want to play as it's just a random country, Liberia. You can play as Liberia.
Want to play as Djibouti?
Yeah, you can't. That's Ethiopia. But it's just really cool stuff like that. And I just love games like that. I've a friend of mine has it, and I play it with him a bunch. Yeah. And it's a very, very fleshed out game.
Yeah, I love history games like that too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're a lot of fun.
It's cool. It's like is it just a harder version of Civ, but a little more like
a much harder
history?
version, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
Seems like you have a pretty decent recommend here for us.
Yeah. I'm recommending Amnesia: The Dark Descent. It's a horror survival game.
It's with an emphasis on horror.
Yeah.
Like this game is stupid.
It was
Stupid scary.
Yeah,
it was ranked one of the most scary games of the year until what's that? What's the
Outlast?
Outlast, yeah.
Yeah.
Outlast, yeah.
Man.
That one was scary. But Amnesia: The Dark Descent. You wake up in this mansion, and you kind of have to walk around and figure out why you're there and why these crazy scary things are happening.
You get nothing from the start of the game.
You get nothing. You have to find these tinder boxes which have like matches in them, and then you can you just picked one up, and you use those to light candles around the house. So you can leave the house completely dark if you want. You can just wander around in the dark.
Which would be stupid.
Or you could light up the place.
The more you spend in the dark, the more insane you become.
Yeah,
and you start seeing hallucinations.
Yeah, which is like the survival aspect of it.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So you have health, and then you have sanity. And the more your sanity goes down because you're in the dark or because things are happening, you start to lose sanity, and you'll start to see these kind of monsters, I guess is the best way to explain. Yeah, just straight up monsters.
Just call them monsters.
They're these horrible,
They're not
horrific
going to get
things.
offended.
And they follow you around, and you just have to hide. Like there's some hiding places you can hide in like a cabinet, but besides that, there's like no hiding places. You have to hide behind. You could hide behind that map, and he might maybe not see you.
What happens if they find you?
You can run from them until they just disappear.
Oh God.
Or you can run into a room, trap yourself in, and then he'll come in and kill you because they can break down the doors,
That's
which
lovely.
is fun. Yeah,
Which isn't terrifying at all.
like you can go through the game just not seeing any monsters, not having any problem with it, just going through the game and being a little bit scared, or you could really, like I did, mess up and have some monsters chase
Really
after
drop the
This
ball.
is one of those games where you have your heart in your throat the entire
you.
time.
Yeah, and it's also a puzzle game too, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of puzzles in it. You have to like find stuff and you have to connect them to the right things. It's fun. It's really fun. And they just came out with
Oculus Rift support?
yeah,
No, it doesn't have Oculus Rift support. They want to, though.
yeah. That would
So
be.
time will tell, I
crazy
guess, on if
scary.
they actually do that.
But they came out with Amnesia, a machine for pigs, which is like is it an expansion or like
No, it's just
completely
a separate
storyline.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think they're coming out with another one.
A new one just came out called Soma.
That's right.
Which is like
Yeah.
the same sort of game, except it's more with the psychological aspect of it.
Yeah.
Do you know how much this is on Steam?
Right now, no. I got it
usually,
for 30.
Usually
like, when I
on
bought it.
sale,
That
it's
was a
like
while ago.
$10.
Yeah.
$10. I want to pick
it's
it
not
up.
that
You should get that
expensive.
as a spooky Halloween gift
Yeah,
for me.
I should.
if you're looking for a Halloween game, just get
Should be coming up pretty
scare
soon.
yourself, scare your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Dwight.
Yes, I have a pretty awesome recommend. Tropico 4. We might have mentioned it before,
Yeah.
but I recently started playing it again, and it's just a great game. Like,
This is one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite game series of all time.
It's like a city builder sim, but it's a little more involved than just building your city and making it look pretty.
You run a small island.
You run a small island
Country.
during. I guess the whole theme is kind of during the Cold War Cuban Missile Crisis kind of situation. You're basically playing like Fidel Castro-ish kind of mock scenario character, and the game's kind of a satire, I think, of that whole time. They have a lot of funny characters in the game.
It is a funny game.
Yeah, it's a very funny game. But yeah, the environment's really cool. You basically run this island, and you gotta manage your foreign relations with the U.S. and the USSR and the other parts of the world. Like Europe,
Like the Middle East,
and the
Europe.
Middle East and China. I think are the other three. And then you gotta make sure you're pumping out exports, whether it be industrial goods like machine cigars or like rum distilleries, or if you're just pumping out like agricultural or lumber goods or whatnot. And it's a really fun game in that way if you like an industry building game.
And you can have like the rebels rise up against your regime.
Yeah. So if people become unhappy, they become rebels. So you gotta like have a strong military that'll like thwart like coups and stuff.
yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Like Tropico 5 has also come out, and
Mm-hmm.
that that's the sequel to this.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic games. Like if you can pick up any single one of the Tropico games, except for Tropico 2, which sucks. It has this pirate setting, and then screw it.
Yeah. But
it's-
4 is it's an older game, so it'll run on just about any computer.
Oh,
yeah. The music, the soundtrack is really great to it too. It'll get stuck in your head.
It's
one
that
of those
like
games-
caliente music.
Yeah, it's a great game to just sit down and like decompress with.
Exactly.
It doesn't get too stressful. I mean, it's a challenging enough game where it's not just like a game anyone could play, like a baby could sit there and just click. But it's an easy enough game where you're not going to be like really stressing out about everything you do.
Like playing Company of Heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a really relaxing game, I would say. And then like different tasks and things will pop up on the map that
So
you
these
can
random
do.
events, and then sometimes a
random,
disaster will come along.
like the U.S. will be like, oh, we need you to export more cigars because people want cigars, and if you don't, it'll hurt your relationship with them, and then they won't give you as much aid or whatnot. Or
Either that, or like they'll go one step further and be like, "No, we're attacking you."
yeah,
Yeah, that happens. A lot.
yeah. So it's kind of crazy how involved it is.
Is there like a combat aspect to it?
Not really. It's not really a combat-y game.
Tropical 5 does.
Really? Okay.
Yes, Tropical 5 added a new combat system into it. Very light, but
Yeah,
still did.
But still enjoyable.
Tropical 4 doesn't really have that.
Yeah.
You still build up a military, but they just automatically
Yeah,
played.
they like walk around. You can zoom in on the individual citizens.
Yeah.
You can like see their family tree and where they're from.
Which
you
is
know.
really
Maybe if
weird.
one of them is like a communist or something, you can have them taken out if you don't
Yeah.
like them or they're like a rebel. Yeah,
Cool.
it's kind of crazy. Yeah, you can hire a secret police force basically.
To arrange an
You can run a really corrupt government. Basically, is what you're doing in the game. But it's fun.
Yeah. Well, seems like that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter at TV10 HomeScreen. Also, like us on Facebook, TV10 HomeScreen.
Yeah.
And we need those likes. That's how we, that's why we get paid, is so we can, keep giving likes.
Yeah. So tune in next week. We'll have more for you. Thank you.